that it actually
N4LQ, WA4LLR. Steve, you around?
WA4 LLR N4LQ. Yeah, just kind of staggered in here. Got my bowl of total. Good morning.
Good morning.
Okay. Was that you, Terry?
No, it's his other brother.
Oh, okay. Well, he's better looking anyway. N4LQ, WD4OUM, WA4LLR. Good morning, guys. We got about 59 degrees, looks like. Foggy, and can't tell if it's overcast yet or not. But happy Thursday morning to everybody. And I hope you staggered in with a cup of coffee or your Mountain Dew, Steve. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Okay. Oh, man. WA4LLR, N4LQ. Well, at least I can ID. Let's see here. I got to get everything adjustificated. Got my knobs turned and meters dipped. I don't have the apple flipper on, so I'm peanut whistle material this morning. What is it? 66 degrees. Brr. Yeah, I should be out there walking. Wonder what the temperature is going to be today. Kind of overcast here. What about you, Terry? WD4OUM, N4LQ.
WD4OUM. Well, good morning, Uncle Dave. Good morning, Steve. Steve, if you go to bed at night, instead of sending them emails out at 8:30, you could get up in the morning. I done been down here listening to the early bunch. Went upstairs, took a shower, fixed me some toast and orange juice and everything. I'm ready for the day. How about that? Oh well. Early to bed, early to rise makes a man healthy, wealthy, and wise. Maybe I should start staying up late or something. I ain't coming out on none of them. So, oh well. WA4LLR, WD4OUM.
Victor Hotel. Okay, recognizing Alvin. Anybody else? Go ahead, Al, and give it back up to me.
Okay, real fine. KK4VH joined this fine group here this morning, and I heard you say something about good looking and passed it on to Terry. And boy, I hope you don't think he's good looking, because if you do, you need to get your eyes examined. Ain't no two ways about that. But anyway, good morning, Steve and Dave and Terry, my bestest friends. We got 66 degrees down here this morning, and we're supposed to have a cloudy, overcast day. No rain. Isn't that something? But anyway, that's what it is. So I guess that's what we'll get if Mother Nature decides to send it to us. But anyway, WA4LLR, KK4VH.
All right. KK4VH and the group. WA4LLR. Well, good morning, Al. Good to hear you today. No, I wasn't saying Terry was good looking. He came in there right after Steve with a real short transmission. I said, "Is that you, Terry?" And he said, "No, it's my other brother or something." I said, "Well, he's better looking anyway." No, well, no, I don't think any of us gonna make that mistake that Terry would make the cover of GQ or whatever some of them men's fashion magazines are. Come to think of it, I doubt if any of us would. But Steve, you said you was running peanut power. You were 20 over up here, so I'd say you're doing all right. And I was looking at our forecast. They're saying our high today's 73 with overcast, but not a major % chance of rain. 55 tonight, high of 74 tomorrow, 75 Saturday, and a high of 70 on Sunday. So no hot temperatures this week as far as I can see. Everything's in the low 70s. So the seasons are definitely changing. Anyhow, I can't say much more than that at the present time, so we'll just keep the ship going across the water. In 4LQ, WA4LLR.
Well, I was expecting more of the crowd. And good morning, Alvin, KK4VH. Well, I heard that Terry looked like $1 million, green and wrinkled. What do you think, Terry? WA4OUM in 4LQ.
WD4OUM. Well, you say you're going to keep on till you hurt my feelings. Now, if you want to, I can take a big old selfie and send it out to you. Remind you what I look like. Do you want it with or without my Darth Vader mask? I ain't had that thing out in a while. I need to get it out, check the battery, make sure the lights is still working in that dude. How about that? Matter of fact, I could wear that out to the rifle range this morning. I don't know what them fellas shoot. They might shoot me though. I best not do that. Oh well. Anyway, what is your problem? I mean, you used to get in here every day and talk to your old buddy. Now, you might get in here once every other month. And how's my Barb doing? KK4VH, WD4OUM.
Okay, real fine. WD4OUM, KK4VH returning. Well, she's doing pretty good. I don't know if you've seen her at Shelby or not. I don't remember. But anyway, seen so many fine fellas up there and people and youngins and man, what a mess. But anyway, she's doing okay for the situation she's in. You know, she's improving every day, but she's still got problems with that hip. The back pain is gone. The doctor took care of that back pain, but now she's got problems with the hip. So it ain't one thing, it's 14 others. You know how that is. And I think the problem is I get on 160 and then in the morning, and sometimes I get over here and sometimes I don't. So that's the problem. Then there are mornings that I don't even get up until 9 o'clock. So them mornings there, you can just cancel the radio out for the morning anyway. So that's the story on me. I am unpredictable. I have to be that way because, you know, people get a reading on me and then they know what I'm doing. I don't want that to happen. So anyway, that's the best I can tell you without telling you the truth. WA4LLR, KK4VH.
KM4CL.
WB4NKM.
Okay. Recognizing Chad and recognizing Larry. Do we have any others? All right. Good morning, Chad. KN4 RCL. And good morning, Larry, WB4 NKM. Chad, go ahead. Make one, give it over to Larry, and Larry, if nobody else comes in, give it back to me. KN4 RCL, WA4LLR.
Well, I got 57 degrees on my watch. And that's probably the same what my phone says, and who knows what the temperatures are taking. But I looked outside and I got 61 degrees this morning and overcast skies, so it's supposed to be pretty, I thought, this entire weekend, except for maybe Sunday. Maybe a chance of showers come through Sunday. KN4RCL, go ahead, Larry, and tell us the temperature in Virginia.
Okay. Good morning to you, Chad, Dave, Al, Steve, and Terry. I think I got the list. And yeah, it's a little bit cooler than that up here. I've got 51 degrees on. That's 5-1 on 2 thermometers. Got another one I'm checking the other one with. And sounds good. Good and crisp out there, I'm sure. I hadn't been out, stuck my head out there yet, but it's pretty early. Good to be in here, and turn back to you, Dave. WA4LLR, WB4NKM.
Anybody else ready to come aboard? Okay, WB4NKM. WA4LLR. Well, I guess old Cliff's up and cuts down now. Getting ready to look at all those antique radios and not buy anything. Yeah, right. Oh, man. It'll be interesting to see what he comes back with. I know he was picking up the balance of that homebrew transmitter that he bought last year. Anyway, yeah, it's nice, cool nights, and it's awful tempting to sleep in. Of course, now I don't think Terry sleeps at night. I think he stays up all night and acts like he goes to bed early and gets up early, but I may be wrong. Anyway, let's see what else is going on. I think I've got most of my chores kind of caught up around here before surgery next week, or at least hope I do. And today I'm going to try to finish setting up a station upstairs that I can at least get on with peanut power till I can get back down in the shack. I'll probably be using Terry's favorite radio, a mighty Elmac, that he hates so bad, but for some reason we hear that magic tone about every time he's on. Oh, me. But at least they're manageable for somebody in less than optimum strength. Let's see, Chad, I think our temperature is pretty similar. I think mine was 59 on one thermometer and 61 on another one. So we're about in the same boat. But, yeah, I thought it was kind of supposed to be pretty, too, but it's saying overcast today. But only a 15% chance of rain, so should be cloudy and cool. Well, Steve, what major projects have you got going on? Oh, I think Dave's supposed to come down with an Elmac today, isn't he? N4LQ, WA4LLR.
You took the words out of my mouth. WA4LLR, N4LQ. Yeah, that's why nobody can own just one Elmac. That's why they call them multi-Elmacs. And they are starting to multiply around here again. I got 3 AF-68s sitting here. 2 of them are mine, and one of them belongs to Lee. And another one is heading down here this morning via Mr. Cuz. So it's I don't know if it's going to get left here or not. It depends on whether it works when it gets here. We'll find out. That's going to be interesting. I'm kind of expected him to check in with us this morning before he leaves. And well, good morning to Chad. Hadn't heard you on for a while. I wondered if you'd flown the coop or what happened. And Larry, good morning. And I think your cousin there, or your NKL, I think Cliff is probably out picking up a U-Haul trailer somewhere, getting it hitched up. So, go ahead, Terry. WD4OUM, N4LQ.
WD4OUM. Well, old Kaz is probably on his way down there. He's leaving early, so, and who knows, he might be headed this way. Knowing Kaz. Anyway. Good morning, Chadwick. Good morning, Larry. And, Larry, I guess you're wanting me to tell old Cliff you done a good job while he was gone. This is the second day in a row you popped in here, so. And Cliff told me one time, I got on him about buying stuff, and he said, oh, I have totally quit buying. I said, well, how come you always come back with a load of stuff? He said, well, they have stuff so cheap and everything, you know, it's such a good deal, I just can't pass it up. So, there you go. That didn't quite make sense to me, but, you know, buying's buying, whether it's cheap or high or whatever. And speaking of buying, my bestest buddy, have you ever decided on a new project yet? KK4VH, WD4OUM.
WD4OUM, KK4VH returning. Let's see, that should be a little better. I switched rigs. I didn't like the way the other one was doing, so I switched. But anyway, now I haven't took on any more projects. Biggest thing I was doing was downsizing all this radio gear, and I got pretty much down to, well, I got 2 more radios that I probably need to get rid of. Ain't nothing wrong with them, I just got too many of them. I'm not like you, Terry. Got a whole basement full. Looking to buy some more. But anyway, no, I haven't. I've looked at a few. I looked at a couple 3 cars, and I looked at a couple of trucks. But I don't know. I'll tell you the truth. I don't know if I want to take on another one. The last one, that Mustang, that thing. It wasn't too hard to do what I needed to do to it, but it was hard for the body to do what I needed it to do. So I don't know, getting under one anymore. It's a real chore for me to get back up, and some of them tight places you got to get to, it's getting a little hard to do that too. So I don't know if I need to take on any more or not. Let me see. the rotation done twisted around here, and I got off a minute and switched rigs, so I really don't know who to turn it to, so I'm going to throw it up. Whoever picks it up, I'll pay attention and turn it to him then. So, KK4V8.
I think it's me, ain't it, Dave?
Roger, roger.
KM4RCL returning my phone now. Seemed like we switched rigs and you went down on me, but Terry could clarify the situation. But I've been in that never-ending circle of doctors, you know. So, I haven't checked on my defibrillator and everything, make sure I have enough battery life and everything, and I'm all charged up and stuff like that, and how much I won't go into the hospital, how much longer till I get my battery swapped out and stuff like that. KM4RCL, go ahead. Larry, did you get feeling better on everything?
KN4RCL, WB4NKM. Yeah, kind of like you, Chad. Never-ending circle with the doctors here last week, and I've got to go next week. Back down there again and get some more stuff done. They like that. Seems like it's a big business to me. Kind of like reminds me of the Sonic Drive-In. You go in there, and you got customers that keep coming. They like to see you moving around and around there, I sit there and look at them coming in and going back out, and reminds me of the drive-in. Works the same way, it looks like. And not much more than that going on. I got some yard to mow, but my hip's been in bad shape. I haven't been able to walk hardly. It's feeling better this morning, but I don't want to push it. And I think I'll hold off getting on that mower. And I wanted to comment on the band here. Everybody's sounding good. Big signal, strong this morning. Wonder where Rick is. I bet he's eating breakfast. We need him to check in. WA4LLR, WB4NKM. WA4KKJ.
Okay, I heard a K4KKJ, and I heard somebody else. Who was the other station?
Man, WK4.
GZ. All right. Let's do it this way. Let's give it to KKJ. Must be the Krispy Kreme junkie. And let's give it over to Rick. Yes, you know how it is. You say their name and they show up. And then we'll give it over to Mr. Brandon. So, the Donut Man, go ahead and make one and give it over to WK4R. And Rick, you give it to Brandon, and Brandon back to me unless somebody else comes in. WA4R.
Okay, I appreciate it. K4KKJ, hadn't been here in a while, and I thought I would make Terry's day and let him know that I am not dead yet, and I'm sure that'll brighten him up, no matter how hard he was wishing I was. But, yeah, I hadn't been here for a long time, guys, but I just thought I would key up, let everybody know I was still living. Like I said, some people will be happy, some people probably won't be happy. But, did see a couple of guys down at the Hamfest in Shelby, of course. Brandon was there, Cliff was there, Billy was there. So anyway, I just thought I would make my presence known for a while. And good morning, everybody. K4KKJ to WK4R.
Now, see, y'all, that's the first time he ever said it, and he said it right. It ain't that hard. WK4R. Well, good morning, everybody. Not much to say yet. Just got here, but Larry, at least your doctors, my doctors have got to the point. I guess they've got a one-track mind or something. They will only do one thing at a time to you. If you come in and tell them about multiple parts just hurting or something, and honestly, the orthopedist has said, well, we'll have to do that another time. He will only look at one part. He's got to stretch it out and get his money, I guess. I don't know. W4GUZ, WK4.
Amen, brother. Amen. My doctor called, phone rung twice yesterday, and I did not answer it. The first time I couldn't answer it, and the second time I didn't want to. I may regret that, but had a pretty good day yesterday and woke up and feels like I'm going to have a pretty good day today. So I do need to get the MRI scheduled before my permit expires, and I have to go back through the whole process of, what is this now, four or five doctor visits with co-pays. I ain't got nowhere yet, so I'm not sure how long a MRI permit lasts. WA4LLR, or as Sam's bird would say, W4LLR, W4GUZ.
Anybody else ready to jump in? Well, Steve, I'm like you. I figured Cuz would say something before he headed out, but he may be so excited to get the Elmac worked on. He may be outside in your driveway. W4GUZ in the group. WA4LLR. Well, good morning, Brandon and Rick and Ken. Been a while, Ken. Wonder what you're running. It doesn't sound hollow state. It sounds like a current production rig, but I could be totally mistaken. But I'm curious. Larry, yeah, I know about the circle of life, or maybe I should say the circle of doctors that it seems to want to last all your life. Hang in there, buddy. And Chad's getting charged up and ready to go. And Al, I don't know what you did when you changed rigs. Your signal went way down. I mean, I can still copy you, and the audio's clear, but boy, the power level seemed to go way down. But maybe it's just the band. Steve, I hope you get Lee's Elmac going again. I know he misses that thing when it's not top shelf. He does have a backup, and you're right. And you know, I think I'm down to one Elmac transmitter and one parts transmitter, but I've got 4 or 5 receivers. So I guess I'm going to have to get me another Elmac transmitter. I need to find a good AF-68. The both ones I've got are 67s. I need to find another 68 one that's nicer than the 2 I let go. But we'll see. I got enough projects going right now till I get through the surgery, and then we'll see what goes from there. Nice big group in here this morning. What we got? 9 looks like. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, 9. I'd like to hear from DB. I'm kind of concerned about him. See how he's getting on. Maybe he'll show up here one of these days. And I'd like to hear Norm too. Sometimes on Thursdays he wanders over to the shack. I was hoping he might today.
N4LQ, WA4LLR.
WA4LLR, N4LQ, drifting back up on frequency. Okay, well, good morning to Ken, who I talked to. You forgot about that, huh? We talked for about an hour over at Shelby, and Rick and Brandon, and the MRIs. Boy, let's see, I had an MRI here in Shelby. They did it in a trailer. They got a trailer they pull around, and I went in there, and this was, 2 years ago, I guess, and that's back when my back was killing me, and they got me in this little old room. They said, you gotta have a mask on. I said, well, do I have to have a mask on inside? Yes, you gotta have a mask on everywhere, especially inside that thing. And I got in that thing, and claustrophobia is not something that I have a lot of, but with that mask on, I could hardly breathe. And my leg was hurting anyway. I didn't think that 10 minutes would ever go by. Boy, oh boy. Anyway, well, Lee's AF-68 is okay. I've got it here ready to go back to him. If we can ever arrange that, I need to find a courier. It's going back and forth between here and Greenville, I mean. And now he's got a PMR8 that's acting up. It's he turns the RF gain all the way down, and it doesn't go all the way down. Matter of fact, doesn't change it very much. And he checked the pot and all that stuff, so I don't know. I'm going to have to look at it. I wish I could beam it up here somehow. So, let's see. Do I have any more comments? Al, what are you running this morning? You sound good. You're only 40 miles away from me here in Shelby. So, over to you, Terry. WD4OUM, N4LQ.
WD4OUM. Well, good morning, rest of you yahoos. Multi-Elmac. Does that mean you got to have a whole bunch of them to get one of them to work, flipping bunches of junk? That's probably it. And I ain't got a basement full of radios anymore. Got rid of all of them. I got 4 left. And it wouldn't hurt my feelings if all these left. So there you go. And donut junkie. Well, I could say a whole bunch of stuff to you, but I'm just going to let it slide. But as far as your radio, I think it sounds like crap. It's like you're overdriving it or something. Sounds like you're in a drum and all kind of crap. So much for that. Anyway, let me see here. Oh yeah, Larry. You said you was coming down again next week. What day might you be coming on? And you stood me and Cliff up the last time you was supposed to come down here. We was going to meet you at lunch and buy your lunch. But no, you didn't show up. So, but I did get the pleasure of eating lunch with Miss Linda. So there. Anyway, KK4VH, WD4OUM.
Okay, we'll give it another try. WD4OUM, KK4VH returning. This might be a little better. I only was running 10 watts the last transmission. I switched rigs and didn't turn the amplifier back on, so maybe this will help things out. Chad, you might be able to copy me a little better now than you could before. But anyway, Steve, that MRI guy, I had the same problem one time. And he said, you got to wear a mask. I told him, I said, that's the most ridiculous thing I ever heard of, wearing a mask inside of that tube. You're crazy. He said, well, you're going to have to do it. I said, no, I'm not either. You either give it to me without a mask or I'm going home. You can explain it to my doctor why I needed a mask on inside that tube. That tube should be sterilized or should be disinfected every time somebody has an MRI run. So there's absolutely no need to wear a mask. And he said, well, all right, we'll go ahead with it this time. So you just have to get hard with them folks. They got some silly things they want to try to put off on you. I don't blame you. I wouldn't have been able to breathe in that thing either with a mask on. That's totally ridiculous. And but anyway, I just had to put that in, Steve, because you just have to get hard with them folks. They'll crumble under pressure as soon as you tell them that they're going to have to explain to your doctor why you couldn't have an MRI because you didn't wear a mask in the machine. That's ridiculous. But anyway, and I'm running the Linko this morning. Now I'm on the Linko, and I hope it perked up a little bit when I put the amplifier back on. Anyway, it looks good on all my speedometers here. All my gauges here are bumping along, so I hope you can copy me okay now, Chad. KN4RCL, KK4VH.
Yeah, Al, you're a whole lot stronger on me. I guess you need that amplifier on. I got a good copy on you, 20 over now. And, yeah, wearing a mask on one of them MRI machines is ludicrous. And, Brandon, I got a question for you. I was listening to the police band the other day, and that Charlie 7 sounded like James Ramsey. Is that James Ramsey or not? KN4RCL. Go ahead, Larry.
KN4RCL in the group WB4NKM. Okay, Chad. Well, good morning to Ken and Rick and Brad. And Ken, I haven't heard you, and I sat here trying to think how long it was since I talked to you and I heard you on, and don't remember. It's been a while. But good signal up there in Virginia. Everybody's still sounding good. We're going to try to make it again in the morning. I've enjoyed getting up, and I just went to the door to let the little dog back in and whistled for her when I opened the door. And there's two big old bucks jumped up out of the valley here. My front yard's got a valley in it. And them two bucks come out of there when I whistled, and they ran up to the edge of the yard and looked back at me. One's a 6-point and the other's an 8-point, so it's going to be now when hunting season opens, they'll be gone. they'll head for the woods probably. It was good to see them out this good, cool, crisp morning. Over to you, Ken, if you're copying over there. K4KKJ WB4NKM.
K4KKJ. And Dave, the radio, I'm on my Expert Electronics SDR, and haven't had it on AM probably since the last time I maybe talked to you guys. Probably last time I talked to you guys, I was probably on the 500. But yeah, we've just been covered up with work. It's just been nuts. And now that football season started, we have past 6 weeks, or probably no longer than that. We've just been going like gangbusters every day, 7 days a week somewhere, trying to get stuff working or putting up new systems and that kind of stuff for the football stadiums. So, and then we had a very, very busy summer. Same thing. So yeah, so I'm not complaining. It's busy and it's work and hey, it pays the bill. So that's good. And Terry, I know you missed me pretty good, but we'll have to get together and do breakfast or dinner or something sometime. Steve, I didn't forget about you. I just didn't realize you were in here. But yeah, we did. In fact, we talked several times on I think all three days, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. So good hearing you, man. And then I guess the other thing, Brandon, you're back. Is that kind of eased up? I know you had to leave early for that, and I hate that, but I hope it's eased up on you some. So anyway, that's about my story, and nothing else going on here. K4KKJ, WK4R.
Get the truth. WK4R. Mask in an MRI machine. Don't think so. Anyway, need to work on 3D printer today. Not that anybody has one or cares, but anyway. Donut junkie. Ken, I've got two questions I've been dying to ask. One is, who tagged you with that name? I can guess, but I'm still going to ask. And since you live in the big town of Catawba over there, did you know Jim Carrey back in the day? Just curious. W4GUZ, and I forgot Jim's call sign, the 1x2, but guy in Bethlehem's got it now. W4GUZ, WK4R.
Hello, K4SSY.
Hello. You're next and give it back to Dave. Yeah, no mask and MRI. And I'm not claustrophobic. I don't think, anyway. I've done quite a bit of confined space training and rescuing cats out of culverts and all kinds of good stuff. But I did have a MRI on my shoulder, and it lasted much longer than 10 minutes. I want to say 30, but it was probably more like 20 if I was guessing. But the longest 20 minutes of my life, and about the last 5 minutes I had my finger on the trigger ready to eject, but I made it through it. So I don't know. Now I need to call them back. They're just wanting money, I know, but anyway. Ken, good to hear you. The back is last 3 days have been exceptionally well, which is also terrifying, if that makes any sense at all. Chad, Charlie 7, you are correct. He is one of Charlie's angels, as we call it. Oh, me. He's a good one. He's got it made now as a school resource officer. Hopefully he'll never have to do anything besides walk around the halls in the parking lot. And I tell you, I don't know, can't go into detail, but there's a lot of threats that children make towards schools about doing bad things. A lot of it stays under the radar, as it should, because they're juveniles, but this world is in, the world's a-hurting, for sure. I think I said this, but a chilly, or not chilly, I'm not going to say that. It feels real good outside. 58 degrees here on Staggerweed, so got a lot planned today too, as long as the old back holds on, and I think it will. KO4SSY W4GUZ.
Alrighty, Brandon. W4GUZ in the group. I don't know who's in here running late. overslept a little bit this morning. Got outside, the dogs had opened the door to the quail pen. I don't know how many's gone. The retriever had one of them in his mouth, chewing on it, dead, so no, that's one down. And I couldn't tell from looking in there how many's gone. Most of them were still in the pen. I guess they went through the door and showed them all the backside, got one and went out, and maybe they all stayed. I don't know. Anyway, that's the way my day started out. And I just had a pop-up Brandon showed this day 8 years ago. I shot a picture and probably put it on Facebook because that's where it popped up that it was that it was 44 degrees this day 8 years ago. So yeah, it can get that way sometimes. I thought you'd like it. I don't think it's even that good, is what it was referring to. But anyway, geez, what's this world coming to? I don't know the subject, so I'm going to pass it on back. WA4LLR, and let me get in this groove here, KO4SSY.
Alrighty, any other late check-in? KO4SSY and the group, WA4LLR. Well, good morning, Billy. Sorry you had a quail stampede or breakout or break-in. Sorry you lost one. Hopefully not more than one. It's a pleasant temperature right now. Just about right for me to sit out on the back porch with a flannel shirt on. I like my flannel shirts. And Rick would be sitting out there in his Speedo. Brandon, glad to hear your back is better, and we'll take the win as long as it lasts, and hopefully it'll continue. Rick, hope you get your 3D printer straightened out so you can print railroad stuff. Ken, I have to disagree with Terry. I think your expert electronics SDR sounds good. It doesn't sound like a vintage rig, which it's not, but I think it's got a good sound to it, and a fine business on lots of work. And even though that's inconvenient, like you said, it pays the bills. Al, for 10 watts, you were doing pretty good before. I was copying you with no problem. I was just amazed at how the signal had dropped down. And Steve, you're talking about needing a courier. Well, Charlie has been performing that function for quite some time. I think he's getting ready to head down to Wayne's and carry some stuff on his way back from Myrtle Beach. I bet he wouldn't care a bit to swing by and get the things for Lee. But you may have already thought about that. But just a thought. Anyway, let's see. Wish I had room and strength to get ART-13 upstairs, but that ain't gonna happen. That's a little too much weight and too much between it, the power supply, and a receiver. It would take up more room than I can sacrifice up there at the moment. So we'll go with the Elmacs that Terry belittles so much and uses almost exclusively. Best sounding radio he's got, and would die before he would admit it. My. N4LQ, WA4LLR.
Let me QRO just a little bit here. Man, I'm up to 24 watts on my Elmac. It's N4LQ in Shelby, North Carolina. Yeah, that MRI was a joke. And that guy, I just about argued with him, but I was in so much pain, I didn't want to pass up I didn't want to muddy the water, as it were. So I went ahead and did it. If I'd had a brain, I would have just got in there and taken it off. I could have got my hand up there. Although that is the smallest MRI known to man, I think, that one in that trailer. I don't know if I got my hand up there or not. But that guy was a COVIDian, and you know how those COVIDians are. They're still running around with masks on. And Al, we'll find on your Alinko, and Ken on his expert, Basie, muffly Basie. I can say that. Makes my subwoofer down here go woof woof. But not a lot of mids and highs, so it sounds kind of, well, it's not communication. It's rock and roll quality. Well, anyhow, that's the way they sound. Usually, that's how people adjust them anyway, I guess. And let's see, do I have anything else? Somebody mentioned Sonic. We go there every now and then, get a foot-long hot dog, and onion rings have improved. They're some of the better ones. Onion rings were getting hard to find there for a while. So anyhow, Mr. Terry, back over to you, and your fine outlay of Elmac sounds really good in spite of your attitude toward them. You keep talking them down like that, and they're going to rebel one of these days. WA4OUM, N4LQ.
And I'll see you in just a few minutes, or about an hour or so, okay?
Okay.
Hey, Kaz, how come you come butting in here? Where you been?
I've had some breakfast and a cup of coffee. So there, old man.
You could have done that before 7:30.
Well, I could have, but I didn't get up till 7:30.
All right, you be careful going down to Shelby.
10-4. Talk to you guys later. See you in a little while, Steve. Go ahead, Terry.
That's a 5522, big boy. WD4OUM. Elmac. The only good thing about them, I can pick them up and throw them in the trash can. Some of this other stuff I can't pick up. There. Anyway. And Rick, I know what you're hinting at. I did not have a thing in the world to do with calling him Donut Junkie. If I ain't badly mistaken, he put that on himself. So there you go. I know you was hinting at me. Why don't you just come right out and say it? You ain't talking to Billy Bob. You can talk to me. And that brings up another thing. Rick, was you and Billy Bob at Shelby at the same time? You know, he played like a Bainey Rooster. Didn't show up over at Maggie's ride, you know. And you strutted around in the parking lot with your chest out, crowing, flapping your wings, and going on. But oh well. Let me see here. Larry, you didn't make a comment on what day you's coming down next week. So, there. KK4VH, WD4OUM.
Okay, WD4OUM, KK4VH returning. Maybe he don't want you to know what day he's coming. He's going to surprise you. That's probably what it is. And Rick was at Shelby, and so was Billy, and I was shocked when I run into Rick. That's the last one I expected to see. I was glad to see him, but very, very surprised he was there. And I hope he makes it there next year. Oh, I hope I do too. I hope I'm around to go to Shelby next year. Let's put it that way. But anyway, gentlemen, I got to get out of here, and I use that term loosely because Terry's in here. I have thoroughly enjoyed it here this morning. Good signals all the way around. But I got to get up from here because I got places to go, people to see, and things to do. So I enjoyed it. We'll do it again when we can. Let's see. Goes to Chad. KN4RCL. KK4 Victor. Let me off and clear. 7-3s.
I hate I missed you at Shelby there. Al, I probably passed you 2 or 3 times.
Yep, you probably did. The same thing happened last year.
I know. There's always next year.
Yeah, I hope I'm here to do it. Y'all take care, and we'll catch you later. KK4VH clear. 7-3s.
Hello, Miss Barbara. I said hello and 7-3s.
Okay, mighty fine, Al, and yeah, tell Miss Barbara hello and 73s. And Brandon, you reckon that gloves up to the elbow and that mask is one of them COVIDians that we've seen at Shelby? That stuff is starting again. They got a vaccine now, I seen, and it'll be out in a couple of weeks, he said. And we should get sprayed by something, or something to get out. It's election year coming up next year. So, the Troy 7 that we have over here in Yancey County is the famous Tony Hoover. Is the Troy 7 over here for the school resource officers. That's the Charlie Washington Courthouse Security. And don't you mean you've been in the tile retrieving a cat? Well, I tell you the truth, I've been with the fire department about 25 years, and I ain't never done that. I ain't never retrieved a cat. What we usually do, if a cat's up a tree, we just hit it with that gun. It'll land on its feet. And you can just try it out on the road tile. You probably clean out the road tile, won't get it dirty, and the cat will get out of the road tile. That's all I got to say. KN4RCL. Go ahead, Mr. Larry.
Okay. Okay, Chad. Well, good morning to Billy. This is WB4NKM. And, Terry, I just got to looking here, and it looks like I'm not going to have to come down there next week. I can do it all up here. They want me to have a stress test and a echocardiogram. So those are, I can get locally done up here. I just have to work them in. So I'll have to put you off again. And Billy, good morning to you. Before I went to bed, I thought I'll cut on Brandon's SDR here and see what's going on. You guys were talking about Billy was talking about the Bengay net was going pretty strong, so I enjoyed a little bit of that, and then I thought better get in there before it gets too late so I can get up and get in here this morning. Boy, there's a crowd in here. Dave, we're going to have to start keeping a tally so we can break that record, you know. I thought it was 13 or 12 maybe maximum we had. Check in. Cliff's not here, so we won't be doing it today, will we? And I'm going to go get the eggs. I got my eggs laying out here on the, cold eggs right out of the refrigerator. They don't fry up too good, so I laid them out a little earlier, and I'm going to go hit that breakfast. Other than that, I'm going to be starving to death, Rick. I'll say 7-3s to everybody, and might do a little mowing today. I'm going to have to get with it, though, if I do that. Hips feeling better. Might come in I have to fall and turn this thing on and see how the band is. But everybody take care, 7-3s, and have a good one. K4KKJ to take it. WB4NKM. Clear but listening.
All right. Well, I hope you get a lot of grass mowed today if that's what you decide to do. K4KKJ. And Steve, so I'll make a suggestion. You need to take that EQ off of that communications grade audio you got, a receiver, and switch that EQ to luscious audio, and then you'll be able to hear me a little better and sound better. And I don't, Rick, I don't believe I knew Jim. I don't recall the name anyway. Billy, just wondering if you left on Saturday evening, or did you stay over until Sunday? And if you moved anything else after I left that afternoon? Just curious how long you stayed there and how things were. And if you were there on Sunday, was anybody actually still left? Was anybody there? And also, Rick, on the call sign too. Now this time, believe it or not, this will be a shock to everybody, but Terry actually told the truth that time. He was not responsible for that. I did put that on myself. That came from a long line of loving Krispy Kreme donuts. In fact, I had one vehicle. I had a work truck for a while, and it had the app for the Krispy Kreme donut. Would let you know when the hot now sign was on, and then if I got a notification that it was on, the truck automatically just went directly to there on autopilot. Of course, it worked out pretty good. I didn't mind it at all. WK4, K4, KKJ. Go ahead, Rick.
WK4. Larry, I'm about to starve to death also, but anyway. Now, if I'm not mistaken, also, most of the MRI machines have a camera in them so they can watch you. And I'm wondering if you ripped that mask off, if they would jerk you out or not. I bet they wouldn't. Just thinking. Yes, Terry, Billy and I both were at Shelby at the same time. He come over and stuck out his chest and walked over toward me and hit me with his belly. Then I turned around and pooched mine out. We looked at each other. It was hot, and decided it was just too hot to get dirty. We wouldn't wallow around no asphalt in the hot and the heat. We have to wait for it to get cold. And someone who will vouch for Terry told the truth. I'm in total shock and awe. Go figure. And Terry, have you ever known me to hold back on my comments to you or anybody else now? I mean, really. But anyway, my wife's headed out to Tennessee again, I guess, for the twins' birthday. Gonna leave me unsupervised, I reckon. And there is a train show Saturday at Fort Mill. And there's also I wouldn't call it Ham Fest. I wouldn't call it CB Jamboree. Somewhere in between, maybe. Maybe more of the Jamboree than Klingman over toward Wilkesboro this weekend, too. It's never very big, but it has some interesting items there if one is close enough to go. I'm going to say 73 and get out, but I'm going to listen for a while. Make sure Terry talks about me. Anyway, W4GUZ. I think that cartoon was, what's the word, apropos or on point? Anyway, W4GUZ, WK4R. Go ahead and listen.
Are you going to print goldenrod?
No, I have to have it to do. I got to watch that video again.
A little bit. Stand and wave. There we go. I hadn't watched it yet, so I'll watch it today. Yep, that's a funny cartoon. Well, you have a good day and don't get into any mischief or get locked up. Well, you're unsupervised a lot. I've always got somebody looking over my back, it seems like, which is a good thing. Oh, Ken, you need to hook a 500 up. I'd like to hear it, and then maybe I'd hook mine up. And I would be as big around as I am tall if there was a Krispy Kreme anywhere close to Bakersville, and there's not. And the ones you get at Ingles and Walmart just ain't the same, so I tried to stay away from them. Now, when the kids come along with fundraisers, I usually get a couple, 3, 4, 5 boxes. Larry, glad you're feeling better. And you've been on the air a lot more than I have here lately. I need to get on in the afternoon. I hadn't even been turning the radio on for the noontime forum at 1 o'clock on 40 meters. I heard Steve up there. When was that, Steve? I guess that was the last time I checked in. That was, what, 3 or 4 weeks ago. But we done some short skip. I don't think that would be ground wave, but it seems like we're, what, 38 miles, 40 miles apart, something like that. But I could hear you just fine on 40 meters on my 160 loop, so we'll have to do the math on that and see where the lobes are at. But anyway, it worked. Oh, let's see. What else do I have? Oh, Terry, you mentioned Maggie's Ride. We have had anonymous donations of great magnitude. And the last count was $47,000. Not bad for 5 years, so if that keeps the trucking along, we'll send the whole graduating class of 2031 to school, hopefully. And Steve went to the dentist for a cleaning. One cavity in 45 years ain't bad. That was last year, so everything checked out well this year, but bag of masks sitting outside the front door. You put a mask on, you walk through the lobby, you walk straight back to the dental chair, you take the mask off, lay it in your lap. Mine ended up in the floor. They stick all these instruments in your mouth and carry on conversation, spit going every which way. In my case, they handed me another mask when I finished. I put it on. I walked back through the lobby, opened the door, and threw the mask in the trash can. So, but yeah, COVID's back, and it's in the hospital. Hadn't heard any in the nursing facilities around here yet, but it is, something is back, whatever they're wanting to call it. And Dave, I know that you have offspring that would probably be willing to come up there and help you move whatever you wanted to upstairs, so you still got time. You can make room. I'd put them to work. I know they do. You do a lot for them, so and I know at least one of them's got a strong back. I see him quite regularly over at Burleson. So, oh me, I'll hang in here for another or two. WA4LLR, W4GUZ.
You forget so.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
L4LQ, you are, and Brandon, I know you the one just gave it to me. I guess I need to make Terry happy. W4GUZ, this is KO4SSY returning. And Steve, 100% copy, but light on me this morning with 25 watts, or 23 watts. And of course Al's gone, so that was the 73s. And Chad, all that crap they want us taking them vaccines, you can pretty much guarantee by now they're putting all that in your food. You're getting it whether you want it or not. And yeah, Larry, that dad blame John whiny for toilet paper down there in W4TP down there in Bay Minette. He gets out there a lot of evenings and signal saps. Don't ever say nothing, but then he'll start sending me texts. And of course, you know, I was really whining last night about all my ailments because I've been walking the last couple of days, and that one mountain I pull is nearly, I'd say it's greater than 10%, probably 13%. It's steep, and day 2 was worse than day 1, and anyway, just all the hurting. And he come in there and said, sounds like the Ben Gay net. So that's where that come from. And Ken, I stayed till Sunday morning. There wasn't much happened after probably dinner on Saturday, but I was there just hanging out with some friends, so I stayed till Sunday morning and then packed up and left out. I helped Gene take down the tent, him and the son-in-law, and he ended up with a busted side glass on the Suburbans. The son-in-law was, that ain't funny, but the son-in-law was taking, if you'd have heard the, well, you know what, when it happened, it might have been a little bit more funny, but anyways, he was taking the last part of that tent apart down there by the Suburban pulled up there, and he jerked one of them legs out, and that thing twisted around sideways and whack. So, anyways, we got everything cleaned up and loaded up. And then I went and got the RV and folded up and peeled out. I said I wasn't going to go back 26, but I did, but it went smooth. I looked at it when I pulled it up. That was the quickest route, and it wasn't showing no red lines, so I said, well, I'll take a chance. And it worked out. So we just come on back home on Sunday. And I don't know, I'm going to tell you the truth, if there ain't a lot of people squalling they're going to be there next year, I don't know that I'll go back. There was a lot of stuff there, but they just wasn't no buyers. They just wasn't no people. I mean, I guess if I was just going to go over and hang out with friends and call it that, that'd be one thing, but to try to go over there and tote all this 100-pound stuff and anyways, no, and I did not sell no more. I did pick up that Ranger. I don't remember if you seen it or not. I've got it fixed back up and pushed the talk in it. It's really nice, so I guess I can turn around and sell that and do a little better, but I don't know. Anyway, WA4LLR to pick it up, KO4SSY.
All right, KO4SSY in the group, WA4LLR. All right, real good. Well, we had some help Saturday evening. My son and a granddaughter and a friend of theirs came down to help us break down, so we went ahead and broke everything down on Saturday evening after the thing died down, and hauled the cargo trailer with all the junk back up. Then we went back down Sunday morning, or actually close to midday Sunday, and picked up the camper, and I was talking to a friend of mine that sets up right across from us. And I asked Tom, I said, well, did you have anybody come in Sunday morning or this morning? He said, we had 10. And I've found over the last few years, Sunday is not worth staying for unless you just want to stay there and rest and kick back Saturday night. Sunday used to be pretty good. I used to move quite a bit of stuff on Sunday morning down there, but not anymore. And you're right, Billy. To me, it's become more of just a social gathering among people you talk to, and I enjoy that part of it. I like going down there and kicking back and just spending some time relaxing and shooting the breeze person to person with, you know, people you just talked to on the radio through the year. And it's the sailing has just not been what it used to be for years now. But anyway, that's the way things are going. Let's see, 73 to Al and to Larry and to Rick and to Cuz. Hope he has a safe trip down to you, Steve. And Brandon, that's fantastic, about $47,000 for that scholarship. That's wonderful, praise God. And yeah, I've got a couple of stout boys and a stout daughter. But it's mainly a room deal. So I'm just going to set up a small station up there, and Dr. said he's going to send home health and home PT for a couple of weeks. So, you know, I'm trying to keep it somewhat before they can go through without without tripping over antenna cables and so on and so forth. So we'll probably operate under less than optimum conditions for a little while. I'll stick one more, N4LQ in the group, WA4LR.
WA4LR in the group, N4LQ. Hope that took care of the weak signal problem. All right, I got to get off of here, get ready for the entourage. I got to get the cones arranged out there, and you know, he's got, I'm sure, an escort and caravan, and I'm not sure if he's going to be riding. I'm sure he's going to be riding and not driving, and I'm sure he'll have somebody driving for him, and I guess the vehicle in the back probably will have the AF-68 in it. I forgot to tell Cuz to come down here by the garage and park, because that's where the shack is. Easy unload, but maybe he's probably gone. But Cuz, if you're listening, drive straight down the driveway to the garage, and I'll leave the garage door open for you. You can just walk in there and bang on the door, and I'll be right here. I'm right behind the door in the garage. So 73s, everybody. Watch out for the COVIDians, and we'll talk to you later. And WD4OUM, N4LQ.
Steve, you're talking about Cuz. If you'd have told him, he'd forgot it before he got over there. But anyway, WD4OUM. My. And Brandon, I'm just sitting here thinking, that flip-dipping mess over this past time, them guys stopped there on the bridge socialized, and I couldn't get out. But, oh well, that's beside the point. But, you know, as many as you got, have you ever thought about breaking that up into about 3 different groups or something like that? You know, when you get a whole bunch of people in line, the least little hesitation up in front of that thing, the people back and back have to mortally fly to try to catch back up. But I don't know. But it just thought. Anyway. KN4RCL, WD4OUM.
If you need to fly, you need to get with Cuz. Now, Steve, Crow's not be liable to show up in the crop duster or anything. Ain't no telling about Cuz. He's crazy. I'm fine to say. And Brandon, does Bakerfield ever find a police chief or something? KN4RCL, I reckon everybody's got out of here. Just whoever next, take it.
I believe that's me, K4KKJ. And I got to get out of here too, guys. I'm glad I had a little time this morning to jump in here. Enjoyed it very much. Try to get in here a little more often, but we'll see. Have a great day. I hope everybody, their aches and pains are not too great today, and everybody have a great one. We'll talk to everybody later. K4KKJ, I think it's going to Brandon, I believe, if that's right. I think it is. All right, GUZ, it's yours.
Okay, Kent. It was good catching up with you at Shelby, and he'd have had to bail out, but yeah, Payne made that decision for me. 73 to all. Police chief, yeah, they hired one, but he didn't have the certifications he thought he did, so he's not working yet. If they get much more slack, they're going to become unincorporated because it plainly says that they shall provide 24/7 police coverage, and 40 hours a week doesn't cut it. And the one they hired could only work 19 hours a week if he gets through his retraining. That's the former chief of Spruce Pine Police Department, without mentioning any names. It's Dave's neighbor, even though he doesn't know him. He lives on the same road. Well, not the same road. Turn off a 19E on the Cane Branch and take the first right, whatever that's called, Dave. Anywho, yeah, we've discussed the clobbered up mess during the ride. We had 89 motorcycles and I don't know how many four-wheeled vehicles this year, but next year there will at least be a pilot and a tail gunner for the motorcycles and a pilot and a tail gunner for the vehicles that can communicate with each other. I did hand out 2 radios, mobile antennas, which supposed to went to the first car and the last car, and then ended up going to about the third car and the fourth car in line, so that did a lot of good. Anyway, Amy just informed me that the goats are out, so I'm out in search of goats, and I guess a tree fell somewhere, so wish me luck. Billy, sorry I forgot you. You are in my thoughts, just not, it didn't come out of my mouth. We'll talk to you. Is this Friday? Thursday? I don't know what day it is. 73 W4G, use it.
Alrighty, 73s, it is Thursday. And that ain't no big deal on that. Is this thing acting up again? Tell me it ain't. I ain't watching the SDR. So I don't know. And I'm going to say 73s and get up front also. I got stuff to do, so we shall catch y'all in the morning, good Lord willing, if I don't oversleep and the quail ain't. The door ain't open again, the dog's chewing on birds. I took him off and went walking yesterday evening, and when I lashed him back up, I don't know how he gets off of that darn thing. I've got to come up with a different type hook up on that thing to keep it latched. So anyway, 73 WA4LLRKO4SSY.
All righty, Brandon, if you're listening, the road you're talking about is Gillespie Road. All of us used to live out that one before we moved up here. My parents and Dad's parents and uncles and so on and so forth. Everybody have a great day. 7-3, God bless. Lord willing, we'll catch you tomorrow because today's Thursday and tomorrow's Friday. Let's see who's left. I believe it is Terry and I think Chad's still left. Anyway, you guys have a good one. We'll look forward to tomorrow, Lord willing. WD4OUM, WA4LLR 73.
Oh, well, you fellas have a good, and I'm headed out to rifle range.
AF-68. Security on FredsNet. Well, it's 70 degrees here in Greenville and cloudy. And this net is an AM net, and we meet 3 times a week, 9 o'clock on Thursday, 9 o'clock on Tuesday, and 6:30 p.m. on Sundays on 3715 about. And that's about where I am. So security on FredsNet. And K4VWD is standing by for calls.
Hey, a lot of hum. I think your amplifier is humming again, Lee. N4LQ.
K4GDN. Oh, bravo.
WB4ARK.
K4JAL.
If the hum is that bad, maybe I better get Steve to do the net. But here's what I got so far. LQ, GDN, Bravo, ARK, and JAL. Do we have anybody else?
I just turned the app off there, Lee.
Well, let me give that a try. The only problem is I'm only putting out about 5 watts, so I don't know if anybody can hear me or not. So Steve, are you copying me? Over.
Oh yeah, real good, loud and clear. S9 here. Go ahead.
Okay. I gotta sit down. Hold on a minute. So maybe the problem is within the amplifier. So here's the sequence I got again: LQ to GDN to KZ4 Bravo to ARK to JAL. Do we have anybody else that wants to join us? Please call me now.
Okay, don't hear anybody. So, Steve, go ahead and start us off, man. N4LQ in the group, K4VWD.
Okay, K4VWD, N4LQ. Yeah, audio sounds okay now. It's the amplifier sounds like it did back before you got it fixed. So whatever it is, it's back again. Oh well, you're not having a good time there, are you? But yeah, you can probably increase your power a little bit and just load it up a little heavier, or I don't know what you were doing to keep the power down for the amplifier. But anyway, waiting on K4YBC to show up here at the shack, so I may disappear subject to that. George, how you doing this morning? K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, K4GDN. We're doing pretty fine in Myrtle Beach. We got in a little less of rain last night, and the temperature's not too bad. Supposed to be cooling down a little bit. I'm assuming Charlie is on his way down here with the camper with his wife. He's going to spend, I think, about a week or so down here, and he's bringing me the NC300. Hopefully get that going here shortly. And Lee, I hope you hear me. When you first turned the amplifier off, your signal was very strong. But then when you came back right before Steve picked it up this last time, things were a bit weaker. I didn't have any trouble copying you once you turned the amplifier off the first time. And the hum does seem to be in the amp. Anyway, let's see. Goes to John. KZ4B in the group, K4GDN.
Yeah, K4GDN in the group. This is KZ4 Bravo. George, I can barely hear you in there. I can't copy a Q1. I hope you can hear me. Sunday I tried to get on, and a switching power supply noise was parked right on this frequency, and I could not hear worth a crap. And it's the first time I've heard that interference, and it's the last time. I couldn't track it down because it disappeared. I've only heard it on Sunday evening. So hopefully it'll stay on. But there was definitely a switching power supply because it would come and go on different frequencies, and it was parked right here. And I had a similar problem with my Keurig coffee maker. I had to install a noise filter on it, and my buddy K4ITL in Raleigh had a similar issue with his Keurig. The first model was quiet as a mouse, but that failed, and the replacement was a cheaper made model, and they left the filter out of it. I'm sure they put the filter in it to get certified for Part 97, and then their subsequent production, they left it out to save money. And I have to get political. One of the best things that Obama ever did was his FCC made a whole bunch of battery charger companies pull their product off the market. They could sell, because they didn't have filters, they could sell what they had, but then they had to add the filters, and of course the price of battery chargers went through the roof, but it quietened them down. And it's just we live in a day and age where the goodness of a switching power supply, if it's not properly filtered, is the bane of ham radio. So I'm off my stump. Hope everybody's having a good time. We've had a little rain, and here we have needed. There's been rain all around, and we hardly ever get much rain here. But it looks like it might be a nicer day today. So I'm going to pass it on over to Buddy. I hope you can hear me okay. WB4ARK and Group KZ4 Bravo, over.
KZ4B, this is WB4ARK. Okay, your signal is fair, I would say. Everybody else, the signal is fairly strong. Even Lee, you came back almost as strong as you were with the power amplifier on. So the ART-13 of Charlie's is back on the air with a new final. I'm getting about 100 watts out to the antenna, and went through the audio section and checked it out. Found a bad tube, and that was about it. So hopefully my audio sounds better today than it did yesterday, day before yesterday on Tuesday. So, but I've developed another problem. The RF ammeter is now not working for some reason, and so I don't know what's going on with it. So we're going to have to pull it and check it out. So that's it's one thing after another with this transmitter. So we will turn it over to K4JAL, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, K4JAL. Steve, would you take a quick break and tell me if my audio's okay? I've been messing around with this thing.
Yeah, your audio's okay. You could probably turn it up a little bit, Jimmy.
Roger, I turned it up a little bit. I've had bad news up here. My next door neighbor, the mayor of our little town, wrecked his four-wheeler and bashed his head. He'd already had Lyme disease, and he's in intensive care, and we're all concerned about Russell. He's a great guy. Anyway, that's about all that's going on up here. I've on these black Collinses doing the best I can. So back to you, Lee. K4VWD, K4JL. You sound fine, by the way, with 10 watts.
Okay, I hear you, Ray. I'm only putting out about 5 watts, 4 or 5 watts. I've got problems here this morning. I don't know whether anybody can copy me much or not, but anyway, Ray, if you're copying, go ahead and make a transmission and turn it back to me. W4VRO, K4VWD.
K4VWD and the net, W4VRO. Thank you, Lee, and good morning. Good morning to the net. Copied you fine, Lee. When you turn the amplifier off, there was still a little bit of hum on your signal, but very little. And on the transmission you just made, I think the hum has disappeared. And I'll echo what Steve said, when you switch the amplifier off, without it, your signal is still about an S7 on this conservative S meter here. So I don't think anyone will have any trouble hearing you. Sorry you're having trouble there, and I hope you can find the problem soon. Jimmy, the audio sounds fine. And Buddy, sorry you're having trouble with the ART-13, but sounds like you've made a lot of progress. It does sound better than it did Tuesday, and the audio sounds very good and good strong signal. John copying you about 75%, and George copying just a little bit of your signal. So back to you, Lee, K4VWD and the group W4VRO.
Okay, Ray, very good. Do we have anybody else that would like to join us? If so, please call me now.
WA4LLR.
Hey, Dave, good morning to you. I'm only running about 4 or 5 watts here, so I hope you can copy. If so, go ahead and make a transmission and turn it back to me.
Well, I'm only copying you about 20 over, so... Yeah, K4VWD, WA4LLR. I tell you what, I'm getting senile. I forgot what day it was. Oh, mercy. I signed off the earlier net, and I was busy doing stuff, and Irvina said, "Are you not getting on the old friends?" And I said, "Oh, Lord, it's Thursday." So, you know, anyway, everybody's sounding good. Everybody's coming in quite well. Running the Viking Valiant, listening on the S-76. And Ray, good morning to you. You were sounding good. And buddy, the ART-13 is top shelf now. And Jim, your audio sounds good to me. So we've got about 60, 61 degrees up here and kind of foggy and overcast this morning. K4VWD, WA4LLR.
Okay, Dave, very good. This is K4VWD. Does anybody else like to join us? If so, please call me now. Well, the most obvious people missing are Cliff and Charlie. So anyway, we've got 8 here this morning, which is good. And I have no idea what's wrong with the amplifier, or Steve's been trying to help me with this receiver because the RF gain control is not working like it should. So got some things to work on. And we'll go around again, and it's still 70 degrees here in Greenville and cloudy. So Steve, go ahead. N4LQ and let me go through the sequence. Make sure everybody's got it. It's LQ to GDN to Bravo to ARK to JAL to VRO and LLR. And buddy, yeah, that rig's sounding good. So N4LQ. This is K4VWD.
K4BWD in the group, N4LQ. Hey, you're doing good, Lee. How do you know you're getting out 4 watts? Because it sounds like more than that. Maybe you're looking at the wrong meter or something. I don't know. I don't know why your Elmac would only put out 4 or 5 watts. It's kind of hard to get him to do that. Usually about the least amount is usually around 20 watts or so. This one will go down to about 17. But I turned on the amplifier, so I'm running a little bit more power right now. Anyway, let's see. I think there's a nice Elmac AF-68 and a PMR-8 on eBay for $247.50. Get the pair. No power supply, but $247. They didn't bad, and they look good too. You know, they look pretty spiffy, clean. I'm tempted to buy them for some reason. I don't know why, but somebody should. And no doubt they're going to have a little bit of work. They're being sold for parts or not working and untested, which means it's broke. So there you go. Well, it looks like it's going to be a nice day, up around 80, and it feels good outside. It's only 68 degrees here in Shelby right now. And waiting on the mailman, who has a couple of little transformers for me. One goes into the NC100 here, and the other one may be for another AF-68. So on we go, George. How copy over there on the beach? You were a little bit light here, but I did copy you. And say hi to Charlie for us. And hope that NC300 is a beauty. K4GDN to take it, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group, K4GDN. Yeah, I suspect Charlie's on the road, and I expect the NC300 to be pretty nice since it's coming from Glenn. Glenn's got a reputation of really doing a good job with stuff he has. And Lee, I'm copying you fine. I think you're putting out closer to your normal 40 watts with that. I'm running the Viking Ranger 2 and my homebrew 811, and it's putting out about 150 watts carrier. And what I do is I load the Viking up as light as I can, and then I feed it into a homebrew 6 dB attenuator. So I'm putting less than 10 watts into the linear and getting 150 out. So that seems to work pretty well. And anytime I'm using the linear, either with the Ranger 2 or with the Elmac, I use this 6 dB attenuator. It's a couple of big resistors on a heat sink that I built years ago, and that seems to work pretty well. And Buddy, the ART-13 sounds clean as a whistle, and I don't know about that RFM meter. I never could get one to work too well, either in the ART-13 or in the TCS set that I had from Charlie that Charlie's got back now. But the ART-13 has got a very good signal. I couldn't tell any difference between it and your normal ART-13. It sounds very good, very clean. So with that, I'll pass it on. Let's see, go to John. KZ4B in the group, K4GDN.
KZ4B, go ahead.
K4GDN in the group, KZ4B, John. Sorry, George.
KZ4B, pick it up.
You're in there.
He's transmitting.
So, just lay of the land and the antenna, I guess. Well, I just finished the parasitic suppressor resistors for the plate circuit of my broadcast transmitter for my 4-400A. I need to put them in the transmitter, but I don't have my garage cleaned up enough that I can get to the transmitter to finish up the power and install parasitic resistors, which is using 35 watt glow bar resistors in parallel with nichrome resistance heating wire coils, so they ought to be highly effective. I'm going to try not to neutralize it, and so I need robust parasitic resistors, and I've also got a swamping resistor in the grid circuit that hopefully will tame it enough, and I'll try to drive it with about 100 watts. And we'll see how that goes, but it's still a long way from finished. Let's see here. For some reason, here you go. Maybe that gave you a little more boost. That's about all I've got here. So I will pass it on over to Buddy. WB4ARK in the group. KZ4B, over.
KZ4B, WB4ARK, okay. John, sorry about that transmission. I knocked the receiver wire loose on ART-13, kicked it with my foot and didn't realize that I was taking the ammeter out of this transmitter and accidentally did that. So anyhow, thanks very much for the reports on the output of this unit. It looks like it's working quite well with the existing components, except for one capacitor that had to be replaced. It's the coupling capacitor off of the 813 tube, and that is a Sagamo capacitor, and it is about 3/4 of an inch thick, 1 3/8 long, the ends are tapered at 45-degree angle to a point, and that is where the brass terminal is, and it's tapped for 632. So it's an LS type capacitor, and I would appreciate anyone who might have a good one to let me know, and how much you want for it. Charlie will definitely appreciate that. I've got a capacitor just hanging in the circuit right now to take the place of this, but I'd like to put it back original if possible. So keep that in mind. It's a brown phenolic standard 3/4 inch thick by 1 3/8 long by about 1 1/4 wide. So if anybody has one and it's a .002, that's important, .002 capacitance. So if anybody has one, I would appreciate them letting me know. So that is the issue with the transmitter at this point. The auto-tune circuit is working fine. So we're just about to wrap this thing up soon. So over to W4VRO. K4JAL, WB4ARK.
WB4ARK in the group, K4JAL. Well, that rig sounds good, buddy. It's about 5/8 up here, great modulation. So you done good. I've got a 811B that was arcing and sparking at the plate cap. And when I pulled the plate cap off, the top of the tube came with it, and whatever resin they had in there was totally cooked off. My point is, somebody said you can solder these things back on. I don't think I'd want to trust it in the long haul, but just for drill, how would one go about that? Any thoughts on that? I'd appreciate it. W4VR, excuse me. Yeah, W4VRO, K4JAL, over to you.
K4JAL, in the net, W4VRO. No, very good, Jimmy. Yeah, very good all the way around. George, still not able to pull you through. John, 100% copy. You're doing good today. Good signal. And capacitors that meet your description, but I don't think I have them anymore. But if I do, I know where they are. I know where all of that old collection of capacitors is and resistors, and I'll go look through it after the net. But I'm almost certain I don't have any more of those. Dave, good morning to you. Good to hear you. The Valiant sounds great. And Dave, I'm sorry you said that about you must be getting senile because you forgot what day of the week it is. I've been forgetting the day of the week for years. So, well, I won't go down that line of thought any further. But I'm thankful for good health. Had many, many years of very good health, and I'm very thankful for that. Well, that's all the notes I have, I think. Back to you, Lee. K4VWD in the group, W4VRO.
Go ahead, Dave. This is K4VWD.
No problem, Ray. That's something I do as well. K4VWD in the group, WA4LLR. Everybody is sounding good up here this morning. Jimmy, I have soldered those plate caps back on, and sometimes I've had success and sometimes I haven't. The only thing I can tell you is I'd use a soldering gun and maybe kind of hold the cap with some at the edge with some needle nose pliers, get it pretty hot till the solder starts to get loose, and set it down on that wire, heat it a little bit more and see if it'll stick. Don can probably give you a better course on it, but I've done it with success, and then I've had failures at it too, but it can be done. Let's see here. Space weather today, sunspot count's 109, solar flux is 143, and the K is up to 3. We're still getting over that surprise geomagnetic storm we had yesterday. As far as events on this day in history, just a few. On this day in 1901, President William McKinley died 8 days after being shot in Buffalo, New York. On this day in 1879, Margaret Sanger was born, who was the founder of the birth control movement in the United States. On this day in 1849, Ivan Pavlov, a Russian physiologist, was born, developed the concept of conditioned reflexes, or reflex. On this day in 1814, Francis Scott Key was inspired to write the Star-Spangled Banner after Fort McHenry successfully withstood a British attack. On this day in 1752, Great Britain adopted the Gregorian calendar, and the date was moved ahead 11 days, so September 2nd became September 14th. So that's just a few items from this day in history. So, K4VWD, W84LLR.
Okay, Dave, thank you. This is K4VWD. Anybody else want to join us, please call me now. Don't hear anybody. Well, Steve, you're right. I'm looking at my bird watt meter wrong, and it is putting out about 35 watts. So I was just looking at the wrong scale. I was looking at the right scale, but looking at it wrong. Okay. Well, I'm not copying George or John, KZ4B. I can tell they're in there, but I cannot understand. But I got some noise here, as usual, with this local stuff. So we'll go around one more time. So, Steve, go ahead. N4LQ, K4VWD.
All right, K4VWD in the group, N4LQ, and yeah, George, you coming in here pretty good. John is way down, and I copied him, but some of it was difficult to understand, and so I just kind of watched my scope here to see when the carrier went away. Came up a little bit toward the end there, so the band is not quite up to snuff, but the time is changing, and it's getting dark early. The sun is coming up kind of late, and all that stuff's changing, probably for the better for us here on 75 meters. And soldering plate caps on. Boy, that sounds like fun. I've done that a few times and put some super glue on there and get the cap on, and hopefully the wire will poke through. But sometimes the wire is just a little bit short, and have to get the hole cleaned out first. Let's take the cap off and heat it up real hot and bang it on the table, try to get the solder out, and then put some glue on it and glue it on and hope the wire pokes through so you can solder it. Anyway, worth a shot. Well, I think I'll make this my last round and say my 73s. Hope everybody has a good weekend, and I'll see y'all on Sunday. And over to George. Hope you copy K4GDN, N4LQ.
N4LQ in the group. It's K4GDN. I'm copying you fine, and I'm copying everybody fairly well with the exception of Jimmy. I'm on the infed half wave. As I said, I'm running about 150 watts carrier, and like I say, I'm putting maybe 9 watts into the linear and getting 150 out. And I always use this homemade attenuator between the Ranger or the Elmac when I'm running the linear. And I load both of them as lightly as I can. I'm only running about 90 mils of plate current on the Ranger, and normally it runs about 130. And like I say, I'm on the NTED halfway, and hearing everybody fairly well with the exception of Jimmy, and I'll say hello to Charlie when I see him tomorrow morning when I get the NC300. So with that, I'm going to say 73. Thanks for calling the net, Lee, if you can hear me. And I don't know if I'll be on Sunday evening, but I'll certainly hope to be back on Tuesday. Sunday evening is just a little hard for me. So let's see. Buddy's coming to you. WB4 ARK in the group, K4GDN.
K4GDN, WB4 ARK. All right, George. Well, I had my ammeter out, and I checked it with my ohm meter, and it reads resistance, but I think that's just the internal shunt, and the meter doesn't kick up, so I'm wondering what's going on there. So we'll check it further. Another thing about the ART-13, I'm using my same mic that I use on my unit, and it's kicking up about the same level on the plate current meter as my transmitter does. So I feel that I'm getting about the same drive that I get with my unit. And if you would pass on to Charlie about the success with the unit today, I would appreciate it, George. So that's about it for me. I've got a little work to do at Duncan's shop today on a steam engine that he is building for a fella. It's a fairly small engine, and so he's just about to wrap it up. So with that, we'll say thanks, Lee, for doing the net, and pass it on to K4JAL. This is WB4ARK.
WB4ARK, K4JAL. Well, got through the day without blowing anything up. I probably will mess around with that 811 tube and see if I can resurrect it, but I wouldn't trust it too far. Of course, in the 811, it's one of three, and I don't reckon unless it blows the power supply or something, it'll hurt anything if I try to run it. Anyway, I'll say 7-3 also and give it over to Ray. W4VRO, K4JAL. Hope to talk to you later. 7-3.
K4JAL. Excuse me. This is W4VRO with the net. Jimmy, your audio's still sounding great, and hope you can get the tube straightened out, tube situation there with the 811s. Buddy, that audio on that ART-13 sounds really good, and apparently the type of mic used with it is critical. So I hope Charlie can find a mic that, or has a mic that will work equally well as yours is now. It's still sounding great. John, if you're still listening, good luck on the 4400A work. One of my favorite tubes. Hope that goes good for you. George didn't copy, but if you're listening, 73, and Steve, 73 to you, and 73 to everyone. Lee, thank you for calling the net. It's been a good one, and enjoyed hearing all of you. Let me get this right this time, Dave. WA4LLR and the group, W4VRO.
Okay, Ray, fine business. W4VRO and the group, WA4LLR. All right, real good. Well, enjoyed it this morning. Sorry I got in here late, but it's just one of those things, I guess. Hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend, and Lord willing, we'll see if we can't catch up with you on Sunday afternoon. So 7-3, God bless, and Lee, thanks for calling the net. Everybody have a good one. K4VWD, WA4LLR.
Okay, Dave, thank you, man. This is K4VWD. Well, with my 35 watts. And it may be bouncing up to 40 watts, Steve. So it's doing about what it's supposed to do, I guess. So do we have anybody with a final comment? If so, call me now.
Okay, buddy, I will pass the information on to Charlie when I see you tomorrow. It's K4GDN. I think I'm hearing somebody in there.
That was George saying he would pass information from Buddy to Charlie, and that was about it.
Okay, anybody else with final comments, please call me now. I don't hear anybody, so we'll shut her down. And I thank you for putting up with my low power and problems here. So I hope everybody has a wonderful weekend, and I look forward to listening to you on Sunday. I'll try to talk to you, but it may be a while before I can get back up to 200 watts. But right now I'm running about 35 watts. So with that, I'll say 7-3, God bless, and this is K4VWD now closing the Old Friends Net. So long.